Okay students, now we start to do the problem. So see the first transaction. Udit started business with cash 5 lakhs and goods. Goods means stock. Okay, so 1 lakh. Next, in this transaction there is two type of accounts. No, what are all the type of accounts? Cash and stock. So cash and stock are the assets which is coming inside, and also the amount of capital will also be increases. So in this first transaction, what are all the type of accounts included? First one is cash, stock and capital. Okay, so you take the pencil and write the nearby the transaction. What type of accounts? Three type of accounts are included in this transaction. So see the second one, purchased building for cash. Okay, so in this transaction, what are the two type of accounts included? Building, so one type of asset is coming inside building and cash is going outside. So what are the two type of accounts? Cash and building. Cash and building are under the what type of assets? Okay, so the two type of accounts are cash and building. It is coming under the heading assets. Understood? Okay, so next come to the third one, purchased goods from Aurora. When the name is coming means it's not purchased, that is the goods are not purchased on cash. Okay, if you keep in mind, only if it is purchased on cash, it is the cash transaction. If it is not purchased, if in some other problems they will give directly, that is purchased goods from Aurora on credit. So it is easy to understand for you. It is a credit transactions. But in this sum, on credit is missing. So you have to you should have the that is knowledge that if the name is coming means the purchasing the goods only on a credit basis. Keep in mind. Okay, so this third transaction, purchased goods from Aurora, that is the stock is coming inside, even the cash is not paid, the stock is coming inside. Okay, so the stock is one of the asset. Okay, and the amount is not paid immediately. It is because it is purchased only on a credit basis. So a new credit liability is created, liability in the name of creditors. Understood? Okay, so what are the type of accounts in this transaction? First one is the stock, because the goods are coming, goods may be indicated as a stock and is purchased on a credit basis. So in this liability there is a new type of liability, name of creditors. So stock is an asset and creditor is the liabilities. Understood? Okay, next, insurance premium paid in advance. First you have to understood whether the transaction whether it is an income or expenses. Understood? Insurance premium paid is an expenses, received is an income. You know that, no? Paid, the amount which is going outside is an expenses, the amount which is coming inside on any basis is considered as an income or revenue. So in this insurance premium paid means the expenses. So insurance premium paid is one of the expenses and is paid in advance. Okay, so I already explained. Outstanding means not yet paid. Outstanding means not yet paid. Okay, prepaid is also called as the paid in advance. Okay, prepaid expenses or prepaid income, whatever may be, prepaid is also is meaning of the paid in advance. Okay, so sorry. So insurance premium paid in advance is, what is the type of transaction? Expenses paid in advance, that is prepaid expenses. It is also called as the prepaid expenses. Okay, so you have to, I already explained, no, outstanding expenses and prepaid income are the liabilities, and outstanding income and prepaid expenses are the assets. Okay, so this prepaid insurance premium is an asset. Okay, so in the asset side you have to include a new column, that is insurance premium prepaid. It is one of an asset. Okay, so take the pencil and write the notes. Before starting the sum you have to write the notes. Outstanding expenses and prepaid income or the liabilities, and outstanding income and prepaid expenses or the assets. And you have to differentiate what is the expenses and what is the income. It's very easy. Expenses is the amount which is going outside and income is the amount which is coming inside. Okay, so this is an asset. So it's another important one is what is that? Prepaid insurance is one of the that is asset. Okay, so there is no such effect on the liability side because it is one of the asset. Okay, so there is no such other type of accounts which is in this transaction. Next one is the rent outstanding. Rent outstanding. Rent is the amount which is paid if it is that is a building or company. For each month they have to pay the rent. No, that is who is occupying in the space, so they have to pay the rent. So it is one of the expenses. Rent is one of the expenses. And here outstanding, that is still not yet paid. Okay, it is called as an outstanding. So rent outstanding, rent is expenses, outstanding, so it is a expenses outstanding. Expenses outstanding is coming under the heading liabilities. Okay, so see this, rent outstanding is a liability. So there is a new type of column which is coming under the heading liabilities, that is outstanding expenses. If you can either put outstanding expenses or outstanding rent, whatever may be. Okay, so outstanding rent. Okay, so outstanding rent means not yet paid. No, so it also affects the capital amount. Okay, so from the capital amount only they will pay the amount of rent which is occupying for the protection purposes and all. So the amount of capital will also be reduced. So there is a new liability which is coming under the heading liabilities, that is outstanding rent, and also affect the capital amount. So two types of account will be coming under the liability side. One is the rent outstanding and also affect the capital amount also. Next, depreciation on building at 4%. So I already explained what is maybe depreciation. Depreciation is the amount which is reducing, that is reduction of the value of an asset. Depreciation is called as an reduction in the value of an asset. So for example, if you are purchasing the TV for 20,000 in 2020 and you decided to sell the after 10 years, if you are decided to sell the product in 2025 after 5 years 2025, no, whether you can able to sell the TV for the same amount of 20,000, no. Okay, so this is called the depreciation. So each year the value of an asset is reduced. Okay, so they are fixing certain percentage, 4%. They are fixing the percentage. Okay, so there is a separate chapter called depreciation accounting, and there is different type of methods of calculating the amount of depreciation. So in that chapter we will learn more about the depreciation, how to calculate the depreciation. Just you know the meaning of the term. Depreciation is the reduction in the value of an asset. For each year the value of asset will be reduced. Whatever the asset we are purchasing and we are deciding to sell the product, the value of the asset will be reduced. This is called as the depreciation. For example, 20,000 is the value of a TV, and after 5 years if you are selling the TV only for 15,000, so the 5,000 value of the asset is reduced. So the 5,000 value of an asset is called as the depreciation. Okay, reduction in the value of an asset. It is called the depreciation. So see the sum. The sixth transaction 8,000. 8,000. So there is no need to, because depreciation on building is its type of building is a type of an asset, and we already allot the column. Okay, that is in second transaction we already allot the column for the building, so no need to allot the column one more time. So there is already the column in building, just we are making the changes in the building. Okay, so in this sixth transactions we have to, because 8,000 is the value which is reduced from the actual value of the building, no, so we have to, there is a reduction in the value of the building, and also in the capital there is an changes. In capital also the amount of 8,000 will be reduced. Okay, so it will affect the account, building account, and also the capital account. Understood? Next one, cash withdrawn for personal use. For personal use means that is cash withdrawn from the business and is used for the personal use. It is called as the drawings. It is called as the drawings. Okay, so cash withdrawn means the amount of, we already studied, no, there is a separate item already allotted in the first transaction itself. We allotted the cash as one of the account which is coming under the assets. So just in this transaction we are making some changes. So cash is withdrawn for personal use means from the business we are taking the amount of cash of 20,000. So the amount of 20,000 is reduced from the cash, and also the capital also the amount will be reduced. Okay, next one is rent received in advance. Rent received, rent is one of the expenses which is received in advance, that is the prepaid income. Okay, rent received in advance is also called as the prepaid prepaid expenses, because rent is the expenses, no, so rent received in advance is also called as the prepaid rent. Okay, prepaid rent. So I already told that prepaid expenses will become in the, where it will become asset side. Prepaid is coming under the asset side. Okay, so there is a that is in this rent received is the income, even if it is an rent is amount, if it is a paid, if it is denoted as a paid, it is called as the amount which is going outside, is considered as expenses. Here in the last transaction, eighth transaction, it is denoted as a received. So amount which is received on the name of the rent and received in advance, so it is called as the income received in advance, because rent received is an income. Okay, rent received is an income. If it is paid means it is an expenses. In the fourth one, insurance premium paid, so it is one of the expenses which is paid in advance. Okay, but here rent is not denoted as a paid, it is denoted as a received. So income is received on the basis of one rent. So rent received in advance is called as the income received in advance. Okay, so income received in advance is called as the liability. Outstanding expenses and income received in advances is coming under the heading liabilities. Okay, so we have to allot a separate column in the liability, that is income received in advance. Understood? So what is that amount? 5,000. Okay, so you have, that is rent received in advance is then 5,000 amount is coming inside on the basis of cash. So there is automatically changes in the cash. Okay, So there is a two type of account which is included in this transaction. One is the cash, because 5,000 is coming inside. So in the asset there is a column in cash. It will be that is increased, and also the new liability is created under the heading income received in advance. Okay, 5,000. Understood? So this is the way you have to understood the problem, and you have analyze the problem, and you have to do the problem. Okay, this is the way. So do the problem by yourself. After understanding the problem, do the problem by yourself, and first you have to classify, okay, what are all the items which is coming under the assets and liabilities, and which account will what is the changes or effect of transactions in each accounts, and outstanding keep in mind and write in a working note outstanding expenses and income received in advance or the liabilities, and outstanding income and prepaid expenses or the assets. Okay, keep in mind. This is another and see the eighth sum, effect of transactions, and give an example for each of the following transactions on the basis of the accounting equations. Okay, and see the problem is very easy one. First one is the increase in one asset, decrease in other asset. So you have to in this case they 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 gave the effect of changes in the transaction, and they asked to write the transaction name of what is the type of transaction, and you have to give any type of asset example to the assets, and the name of the asset is as per your wish. Okay, so see the first one, increase in one asset and decrease in another asset. So they are given purchase of building for cash. So one asset building is coming inside, and decrease in other asset is cash is going outside. Next, increase in asset as well as the liability simultaneously. What is the meaning? So there is increase in asset and also the increase in liability. So purchase of goods on credit. So the stock is coming inside, stock is an asset, so it is increased, as well as there is a new type of liabilities credited on the name of the creditors. So there is increase in creditors. Increase in asset, third one, see the third one, increase in asset as well as the capital. Capital is increasing. So capital introduced by the owner. So capital introduced by the owner means, so asset is cash is coming inside, so there is increase in asset, and also the capital amount will also be increased. Decrease in asset and decrease in liability. See the sum, payment to the creditors. So we already purchased the goods on credit, no? So now we are paying the amount to the creditors. So automatically the amount is going outside. So cash is going outside. Cash is an asset. So that is decrease in asset. And the one of the liabilities coming down, decreased, because we are paying the amount to the creditors, no? So there is a decrease in creditors. Next, decrease in increase in capital only. Decrease and increase in capital only. So it is one of the example, interest allowed on capital. So there is a decrease in capital and increase in capital. How it is, interest allowed on capital is one of the that is with some of the amount or rate of interest is fixed on the capital, and they have to pay the amount of interest on the capital by the board shareholders. Okay, so in this case that is the amount of capital will be increased in one case, and in another case there is also decrease in capital. Okay, so how it is happening, because if they are purchasing some of the that is if they are borrowing the amount from the business, they have to pay the interest. Okay, so if the business is borrowing the amount from the shareholders, the business need to pay the interest to the shareholders. This is the effect. So in one case the business is borrowing the amount the amount of interest is going outside, so automatically the capital amount will be decreased. And if the shareholders are borrowing the amount from the business, the shareholders are in the positions to pay the interest on the loan amount which is borrowing from the business. So automatically the interest on the capital will be increased, on the capital amount will be increased, because they are receiving some of the rate of interest from the shareholders on the amount, how much amount they are borrowing from that amount. They will calculate the amount of interest and they will collect the interest on capital from the shareholders. So the amount of interest will be increased the amount of the capital. So in one case there will be increase in capital, and in another case there will be decrease in capital. Okay, understood? Next one, see the ninth sum. Prepare the accounting equation from the following. First one is the started business with cash 1 lakh. So it is very easy, no? Cash is the asset, and also there will be changes in the there will be increase in the capital also. Purchased goods for cash 20,000 and on credit 30,000. Okay, so here the good stock, that is goods, is coming inside on the basis of stock. Even if it is credit, stock is coming inside on the value of 30,000. So the stock is the asset. In stock there will be increase in 50,000. Stock value will be 50,000. And purchase goods for cash, so amount of cash is only going outside, so there will be decrease in the cash and it is an asset. And on credit we are purchasing, so that is a new type of liability which is created, and the name of creditors. Okay, so creditors, there is a new liability 30,000. This is the second transaction. See the third one, sold goods for cash costing 10,000 and on credit costing 15,000, both at a profit of 20%. Both at the profit of 20%. So see the working notes. Goods costing, first we take the it is goods which is sold on cash. No, first we take the goods, that is 10,000. Both goods are sold at a profit of 20%. So first we are doing the each good separately. First one is the 10,000 which is sold at the profit of 20%. So 10,000 into 20 by 100, 2,000 is the profit amount. So how much amount they will, what is the selling price? 10,000 is the cost price and the profit is 2,000. So 12,000 is the selling price, that is the sales price. See the second one, 15,000, and this 50,000 is also sold at the profit of 20%. 15,000 20 by 100, 3,000 is the amount of profit. So selling price is 15,000 plus 3,000, 8,000. So profit on sale on both the goods. In the first type of goods, 2,000 is the amount of profit, and the second type of goods 3,000. Totally 5,000 is the amount of profit. So automatically the capital amount will be increased. Okay, will be increased. Okay, so see the third transaction. So the first type of goods, it is sold for the cash. So 10,000 plus 2,000, 12,000 will be coming inside. Understood? Okay, and the value of stock 25,000, value of stock is going outside. So only minus 25,000. Understood? Okay. And there is a new type of debtors. If any goods which is sold on credit is called as the debtors. I already explained, no. So how that is 12,000 is coming inside because it is sold for cash, but 15,000 value of goods are sold on credit, including the profit, that is 18,000. It is not coming inside, so it is coming under the heading debtors, 18,000. Understood? Okay, it's a very simple sum, but before starting the sum, first you have to do the working notes. After doing the calculations, we can be able to understood. Okay, so do all the problems And see the next heading, net worth or owner's equity or capital. It is a very simple. There is a formula of calculating net worth equal to, it is also called as the owner's equity, and it is also called as the capital, the same meaning. Okay, so owner's equity capital equal to total equity, that is assets minus creditor equity, is called as the liabilities. So the liabilities of the business which is towards the third parties are known as the outside liabilities or creditors liabilities, creditors equity, keep in mind. Okay, and by using this formula, there is a 10th problem. So read the problem. It is a very simple one. Just applying the formula you can calculate the amount. Okay, so very simple. Capital of the business is given and outside liability is also given, and they asked to calculate the total equity. In the second one, total asset is also given and net worth capital, and they asked to prepare the calculate the creditors equity. So just put the heading net worth or owner's equity or capital, write the formula and do the problem 10th. Okay, so next one is the net income or net profit. Net income or net profit. So that is the formula. In net income or net profit, there is a formula. Profit equal to closing capital minus opening capital. Closing capital minus opening capital. If the closing capital is more than the opening capital, closing capital is more than the opening capital, the difference is the profit. And if the closing capital is less than the opening capital, the differences will be coming in the negative, no? So it is called as the loss. Very simple. Okay, closing capital minus opening capital equal to profit. If closing capital is more than the opening capital, that is, if the answer is coming in a positive, it is called as a profit, and if the answer is coming in the negative, it indicates the loss. Very simple. And there is a two sums, problem 11 and 12, the same, that is following, that is calculating the profit or calculating any missing figure. That is, if the opening capital and profit is given, you have to calculate the closing capital. So as per the problem, read the problem. It is a very simple sum. So by using the formula, you have to calculate the amount of profit or any other missing figures. Okay, so that's all. And come to the solved NCERT problems. So you have to do by yourself. Read the transaction and take the pencil, and you have to write what type of accounts are affected in each transaction, what is the effect of changes in accounts, and which heading it is appearing, whether it is a liability or assets, whether it is an expenses or income, and what type of name of the account is included in each type of transaction. And after that you have to allot the columns. Okay, so in this you have to do the first sum, second sum. Okay, and just try to do this sums also, that is comprehensive complications. This is a very important sums. Try to finish these sums. Okay, and if you are having any doubt, so up to page number 4.20, okay, you have to finish these sums. It's all the same model problems. Just read the problems, do by yourself in your class or no. And these sums you have to do, that is page number 4.14. There is a first sum, no? From that problem you start to do in your homework note. Understood? Okay, so these sums, that is 7th problem, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th problems you prepare in your classwork note, and solved NCERT problems from the first sum to the last sum you do in your homework note. Okay, so prepare, be thorough in this chapter, and in the next class we will start the next new chapter in accounts. Be thorough in that. If you are having any doubt, you can clarify with me. Okay, thank you students.